Take two. Okay, so we're gonna try this again. Um, Today, first I should introduce myself. So I'm Jen from Practical by Default Solutions for the Working Homeschool Mom. And today, hopefully, we'll get a chance to talk live with Ashley Fox from some random lady. Sorry, Ashley, I totally forgot your blog there for a minute. And so we're just going to wait for a moment for Facebook to see if it can notify her and let her know that I am on. And we'll wait for her to say hello. And then technically I should be able to invite her to join me. So let's see. Oh, that looks like the right symbol. Yahoo! Okay, so the invite worked this time. So as soon as Ashley pops up here, we'll get this party started. And so, as I always tell people, all right.
Yay!
Hey!
Hi! How are you? We did it! Yay!
We did it! So, I'm not sure what the problem was there. It was something I was doing, obviously.
I don't know. It could have been me. I have no idea what I'm doing at all. At least you've done this before.
Well, I knew whatever we did, we fixed it because there's a little symbol with a camera beside your name, and I was like, oh, that's the symbol I needed!
Awesome.
Okay, so
we're here now.
I was just telling everyone that we're doing this thing internationally, that I'm in Canada. I'm in Nova Scotia, Canada, and you are somewhere in the States. I was going to say Florida, but then I was like, maybe I'm wrong.
I am. I'm all the way in the south of Florida, and it's freezing here. It's down to 60.
Oh, I'm so sad for you. Hey, it's Amy. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a minute and share this video into my group, and then we'll get started. So the first question I'll let you think about was I was going to ask you to introduce yourself to everybody and tell us a little bit about you and all the fun stuff that you do. So just give me a second here and I'll let you know when we're good. Sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. So I run the Working Homeschool Mom Club, which is where we share lots of encouragement and inspiration for working moms that also homeschool and do all kinds of things like Ashley does here. So that is done. All right, so Ashley, why don't you say hello and tell us a little bit about all the fun stuff that you do. What your business is about, how many do you run, what are your kids like?
Okay, so sorry, this is like the lag is freaking me out a little bit, so if things are going crazy, just tell me to stop. So I'm a work-at-home mom. I have 3 kids. My oldest is 6, and then I have a 4- and 2-year-old. My oldest is the only one that's homeschooling currently. My 4-year-old just told me that she's ready to learn how to read, so that'll be something new and exciting to start in January. I was like, hold up, I'm not ready yet. I have 2 websites. One is my homeschool website that's called Some Random Lady. And the other one is SRL Printables, where I make planners and printables and stickers and kind of fun hobby planning type of stuff for organization. And then I also have an Etsy shop that goes with my printable store or my printable site. And my latest thing is that I'm going to be a hand model. So I'm really excited about that. You've seen the overhead videos. I'm going to start doing those overhead videos for crafts and printables for other website owners, so that's pretty exciting. I'm pretty busy.
So that's 4 businesses? 5?
You could say 4. I mean, like, really, it's just like one person, so just doing everything all day, every day.
Yeah, doing all the things, right?
All the things.
Oh, so guys, if you can see us and hear us pretty clearly, can you let us know? I don't know if I can actually do anything about it, but I can run into the room and check and make sure that no other Wi-Fis are on. So sometimes I know in my house when the kids are on the tablets, I already threatened them. I mean, please ask them. No, really, I threatened them. And I told them Don't go on your tablets. So if you're having issues with the sound or the connection, just let us know and we'll pretend we can do something about it. Thanks, Amy. She says it sounds good and looks great. So question one, so we've had the opportunity, Ashley and I have chatted before. We've shared her written responses on my site, which was so much fun. But I decided that it would be even more fun to have her in real on video. And so we gave everybody some opportunity to ask some questions. And so one of the questions that we get asked the most are stumbling blocks when it comes to homeschooling and working. So I wanted to ask you what your biggest stumbling block was for yourself and then homeschooling and then how you overcame it. So what did you do about it?
Okay, I can't remember what I wrote, and I know I was supposed to review it before I came on. However, my son was having kind of like a special kind of attitude day today, so I'll just have to think of maybe something else. I think my biggest stumbling block is I love to have a plan. I'm so planned out. I'm like hyper organized about everything. And when you're dealing with all these different people that have different needs, I always having to adjust to everything that they do. So one of the things that I can give you as an example is my son is very independent and he wanted to learn how to read last year, and he was in kindergarten, and I was kind of like, well, one of the reasons we homeschool is so that we can slow down and not push you into reading. But he was like, Mom, I'm learning how to read, and I'm learning how to read Magic Treehouse books today. Okay. So I had to take a step back and really listen to him and let him kind of do his own thing and trust him. And that, I think, getting over myself was one of my biggest stumbling blocks. So, you know, now when we do things, I try to talk to him about it and think about where we're going and listen to him as we go through things and go through curriculum and just make the changes and adjustments as I need to do.
Yeah, that is huge. That's a big deal, especially when your kids are finally, well, it took mine a while to voice opinions on stuff like that. They were more like, I want to read about dinosaurs. It wasn't more about who wants to read. But you said at the beginning that your daughter has now come to you and is like, hey, I'm ready to read. So now you kind of know what to do a little?
A little bit, yeah. Well, I love teaching reading anyway, so I'm kind of excited about it, but we're just moving back into our house. We were displaced for about 2 months after the hurricane. So, I mean, I'm like, honey, I got to get the kitchen set up. We haven't gotten a Christmas tree yet. Like, I have so much stuff to do. I just ordered her Hooked on Phonics, which is what I started my son on too, but I need to replace some stuff. So I told her we could start in January. Maybe she'll learn before then. I don't know. They all do their own thing.
It's only a couple weeks away anyway.
That's true. It's coming up fast.
So now I'm going to ask you the same question, but in a different context. So when it comes to, what is your biggest stumbling block when it comes to work and homeschool?
Oh, finding the time to do everything. Absolutely. My husband is a great help. He works at night, so I have him a lot of the times during the day. He does a lot of the housework. Don't tell him that I told you that. But we have like this new oven and stove, dishwasher. I haven't used any of it. He does the cooking if he's home. I do less of that. So, you know, finding time to fit that stuff in. Last year I had, you know, I was just starting my business. I was working all the time. I had all 3 kids home all the time, and it was crazy. And I also was making things to go along with my son's needs. Like, I was making everything that we did, almost everything. So this year, my kids are in preschool part-time, my 2 younger kids, and I have my son home with me all day long. So somehow in between, you know, my husband doing the chores and my kids going to school and homeschooling my oldest, I find time to work too, which is kind of in little spurts all throughout the day and a lot in the middle of the night.
Yes, I find like I get probably most of mine done early in the morning and then at night after 8. So at 8 o'clock for me, I quit. I'm like, I'm done. I am no longer here. But my kids are not little. My kids are older.
Right.
So I can say that and they'll be like, yeah, okay. But I can't imagine trying to do this online stuff with little kids. That's just like, for me, that's like, how do you do that? Because mine were like hanging off me and you're like trying to touch.
Mhm.
It just wasn't happening.
Yeah, they do that too. You know, like 8 o'clock is when I'm just gearing up. I'm telling them to go to bed, and I say, you know, mommy's clocking out for the day. Go back to bed. And eventually, they go and lay down by themselves, or else I just carry them into bed later. But yeah, I work. Most of my hours are like 8 to midnight. Last night, I was so exhausted, I fell asleep about 9. And then both of my youngest kids came in at about 3, so I was up from 3 to 5 working, and then took a little nap, and everybody got up at about 6:30. If I make any noise in the morning, working, making coffee, anything at all, they will all wake up and ask for snacks. So I try to be very quiet if I'm up at all. Usually they wake me up.
Yeah. Oh, that's bad. All right. So, oh, I loved this part. So in your written interview, we talked about mottos or kind of like a guiding principle. And your motto was, let me see if I can find it. This is why I should take better notes. Da-da-da. Is my style is to make everything fun. Now that's really cool because my very first side-by-side interview was with Amy, who focuses on homeschooling fun, and she kind of talked about what fun looks like for her. And then Erin, she was here and she kind of talked about what fun looked like for her. And what I'm finding is that fun looks different for everybody, right? Because we're all different. Our kids are different. Our personalities are different. Some people love board games. I'm like, I will play, but you know, I'd rather not. So what does homeschool life fun, what does that look like to you and your family?
Well, we're pretty on the go. I love taking them out to do things as much as I can. My oldest has decided he doesn't want to take any outside classes at all. So he just wants to learn at home, but I could sneak things in like museum trips, park nature walks, and that kind of stuff. So we're really kind of on the go almost all the time. We're out doing something every day. My kids' preschool is right down the street. So every morning we get up and we all walk to school together if we can make it on time. But it's, you know, it's really about like getting up and getting out. We do, like, I think the example I used in the interview was the handwriting thing, and it's just about getting up and moving. Like even something like sitting down and writing can be torture for my little boy. So, you know, we make the letters with our bodies instead, and we do it all over town, and we read, you know, signs and menus and take reading out into the world too. So
Yeah.
I think fun for me is not being stuck at home
Yeah.
for homeschool, of course, of all things.
I know, it's so funny when, do you find it ironic when people are like, oh, you homeschool, so you must be home all the time. And I'm like, no, but when I am, I'm really happy. I like being home.
Yeah,
So.
like, okay, now I can just sit down for a minute. No, just kidding, that doesn't happen. Yeah, I think the people who know me have never thought of me as being a person that's going to be at home anyway. Like even when my kids were really small, I was always out everywhere with them all the time. One strapped to my chest, one in the stroller, one walking beside me, running out into the street. So yeah, random strangers think that we're, you know, I'm sheltering my children at home all day long, but really like we're everywhere.
Yeah. Amy says you have great ideas. She does. They're wonderful.
Thanks, Amy. I love your ideas too. I'm a fan.
One of the things that I noticed, and you've said it today, was about being planned and being organized. So organization is really important to you. And you told me that your favorite time is to plan in the morning. So this must be when you're really quiet before the kids wake up? That's when you do your planning?
No, I'm usually doing it while they're either eating breakfast or in between getting them breakfast and watching Ninjago or whatever they happen to want to do that day. Our mornings are a little funny. We've got to get the 2 little ones ready for school, which is always a rush. And lately, my son doesn't want to do anything. He says, he's staying in his pajamas all day, but that's not going to happen. So we're just, sort of, I think, regular, crazy family morning stuff. Probably that most people are doing. But yeah, I have my planner right here. It's always pretty much.
Because that's what I was going to ask you next. All right, so what type of planner is that?
Oh, this is a day designer. It's huge. It's really big. And it's heavy, but I love it. This is a daily planner, so every day I can sit down and write my notes, but I have another one. I do have my weekly planner too. I use a happy planner for my weekly stuff.
Okay.
So basically I sit down every morning and just see what I have to do in this one, and then write it all down on this one so I don't forget.
Okay.
You guys are on here right here. Don't forget. Oh, I was so afraid I was going to forget about this today. And I never have messages on my phone. So I wouldn't have even gotten the alerts. I was like, honey, you have to remind me. 11 o'clock. I have to start getting ready. I'm not kidding. So,
I would have been, you thought I was bad already. I'm like, hi. You're like, I can't find it. I was like, really?
I don't know how to use the computer all of a sudden. I don't know what happened.
Oh, well,
I'm my computer, phone, iPad, everything.
One of these must work. So you're a paper planner. So do you use any digital planning at all, or is it all paper?
Yeah, actually, well, I'm testing out Homeschool Planet right now for my lesson planning, which I think might be good, because what happens with my paper planning is I end up like writing stuff down in the future and then just crossing everything out all the time. So I think maybe a digital planner might be better for me for that. And then I also use like a Google Calendar just to kind of keep everything organized at home, and I can send my husband an alert like, take out the garbage, or recycling day, or it's your day off. He's always asking me what his schedule is, and I can't ever remember. So that's his preferred way, so I kind of have to adjust to him a little bit too.
Yeah, that's good. There was a point where I actually had 7 planners on the go. 7.
Oh yeah.
And so
yeah, I've been there.
I was like, and if you lose a paper planner, you're like messed, right?
Oh yeah.
Dana says, I love the Cozy app for that. I need the reminders. I haven't tried that. Have you tried that, the Cozy app?
Mm-mm. I haven't. Everything I do is on Google anyway. I use the Drive and the Gmail and everything, so I've just used that one, but that sounds, if it's a planner, I might have to try it.
Sounds good. I know. So I actually got rid of all of them by switching to the Homeschool Planet. And then we did that last year. And then my kids this year were like, no, I want paper planners. So they use let me see. They use this kind of thing that you just pick up
okay.
Walmart or Amazon or whatever. My daughter will shoot me for showing you that because that's her handwriting. But she left her stuff out here, so. But so she uses that, and I use Homeschool Planet with Google Calendar because my schedule is always changing. Like I think this week I work every day except for, I don't know. I'll have to look.
Yep.
Which is why I need a planner.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So this is one of my favorite questions. I love asking moms in general, but what are your favorite tools for okay, so we're going to categorize them because we all know we have so many hats, right? So what's your favorite homeschool tool? Then I'll ask you about work and life. So 3
homeschool tool. Electric pencil sharpener, hands down.
Really?
Oh yeah. Well, the first year I didn't have one, and it was like I got like a like a crank one. Just I use pen. I have 1,000 pens. I don't use pencils. So I got the crank, and it was always like popping off the table, and I'm like, this is so stupid. So I just used this one, the handheld like tiny guy. Oh my gosh. So I was like, okay, enough is enough. This is getting real. He's actually using pencils now. Somebody has to sharpen them. It has to be me. So I got the one that I had when I was teaching, and it's just like a giant X-Acto monster pencil sharpener, and it's so fast. And he can use it too because it has a little light that goes on when the pencil is sharp. So yeah, that's my absolute hands down favorite tool for homeschool.
You are such a nice mom. I am like the worst mom ever. I'm like, here's a pencil, here's your sharpener, do it yourself.
Oh no, I think I would have pencil shavings all over the house. He would be walking around just like dropping them. That's not something I want to get into.
Oh, okay, what about your work? So what's your favorite tool for working?
Oh, can I show you? It's new and I'm so excited about it. Okay, well, maybe I should have cleaned off my desk, but I didn't really think about it. So this is a standing desk. And it has a button. I got it from Costco, and it's like the same price as my old desk used to be, because, I don't know. And you can sit down at it or stand up at it, and it's the best thing ever.
Cool! And it doesn't look ugly. I've seen some that are really ugly.
No! Oh, I know. Some of them have like the big gears on the side, and they're like atrocious. But yeah, no, this one isn't bad at all. And it has everything inside. There's just a cord that hangs down, which I have 100 cords under there anyway, but yeah, that's awesome because when you're working at a computer, I don't think that people really think you're working. My husband thinks I'm playing around on Facebook all day. My kids think I'm, I don't know, on Lego.com or something. So like when I'm standing up, I can be doing other things at the same time and kind of go back because I feel like I'm always multitasking something. So
oh yeah,
cooking, run over. I don't have to sit down. I don't have to deal with the chair. It's nice.
I can see you on Lego.com right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
wait.
totally. Just watching like brick videos and, yeah, all day long.
Okay, what about your life? So do you have a favorite life tool or something you can't imagine living without?
Oh, well, definitely my planners. Absolutely. I showed you the two. I mean, I have other ones. I have 3 more sitting right here, actually. Some people would think it was like a bad thing, but I think it's like the best hobby to have because it keeps me super organized. This one's like for my health stuff. It's a bullet journal. This one I keep all of my like stuff that I'm learning in, classes that I take. And then I have this big 5-star 5-subject notebook for just ideas. So I think like without my planners and my pens, my life would be a hot mess. So that's my favorite life tool.
All right, so what's your favorite pen?
Oh, I have to pick one? Oh, no. That would be impossible. Wait a second. Okay, so here's my pen collection.
You have a collection?
Oh, yeah. Wait, I feel like backwards. There it is.
Wow, that's kind of crazy.
I have them organized by color because I like that. I like all of them pretty much, but the ones I use most are the gel pens, the Ink Joys by Papermate. So I guess that would be my.
What's your favorite?
Oops. Maybe the Ink Joy pens by Papermate.
Okay. Are they the erasable ones?
No, you can't have those down here. In Florida, you can't do the erasable ones because if you leave it somewhere hot, the ink will disappear.
No way! I did not know that. Huh. Learn something new every day.
I know. Don't leave your planner in your car. It'll just like, all your pages will be gone. You can put it in the freezer and it'll come back, but.
And do I want to know how you know that?
Just from being in planner groups.
Okay. All right. So we had one more question. This was from one of the moms. Her name is Juliet. And she had a question for Ashley. Her question was, and I'm going to read it because otherwise I'll totally screw it up. So I'm just going to read it. She says, how do you find energy when the list is still long and you are ready to be done for the day? How many times I am too tired to get set up for the next day and then start my day feeling behind because I didn't follow through on those things, the last things, because I was too tired.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking about this, and I actually talked to my husband about it, and this is a problem that I have too. Sometimes I can, get the little milks ready and put the little snacks in the fridge, and the kids can get them themselves. And sometimes I'm so exhausted, I'm falling asleep on the keyboard the night before, and I don't do any of that, and then they're like dragging me out of bed in the morning. So sometimes I don't have the energy to do that. But I do work with my energy. I'm lucky enough to be able to make my own hours and also to be doing something that I love. So, when I'm really excited about something and really working hard on something, I can work for a long time, I think maybe on adrenaline. And when I'm exhausted, I can take a break. So I'm lucky in that sense that, I don't have to push through too often if I'm really exhausted. But yeah, most of the time I would rather be working than getting the house ready. So yeah, that's definitely an issue that I'm dealing with too.
Yeah. I find that it's hard, right? Because you're so tired that you can't really think straight to make plans for the next day. And so then you have the wrong stuff in the wrong place because you weren't really, I don't want to say mentally there, but you're just too tired. And so at that point, you just kind of have to roll with what you have done. And I think the main point is not to let yourself feel behind and really to let go, right? Like, okay, it didn't get done. Well, you can't fix it. So if you don't have any control, you might as well just let it go and go. It's like, okay, the kids aren't wearing matching socks. Well, they're like that.
Oh, yeah. We haven't had matching socks in a long time. We only have to wear them for 6 weeks out of the year, so.
I'm not talking to you.
Sorry.
We finally got snow. It arrived last night. It came out this morning. It's all nice and bright. I think it's melting now. England got like 2 feet though. So.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
My parents are in Ohio, so I hope that I can take my kids to see snow at some point.
Yeah. All right, so
Maybe
that is all the questions.
Okay, that's it already? That went so fast.
Ah, well, there you go. See, time flies when you're having fun. And technology works. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome.
All right, so thank you guys for tuning in today. If you have any last questions, now is the time to put them in there. It's going to take probably a minute or two to filter through because of the delay. It's the part I absolutely am not a fan of Facebook, is that you guys might be commenting and sometimes we just don't get them. So what I'm going to do after we stop this recording is I'll go back in and check and see if there's any comments. And I'm sure Ashley doesn't mind taking a minute or two to just kind of scan through. So you can go ahead and tag either of us. But I really want to thank you guys all for being here and for hanging out with us today. It was fun. And I'm not seeing anything come up, so I will say goodbye and I will see you next week.